Fitz here for another edition of Superstars of the Ring here at ccwrestling.biz. Joining me right now is my co-host, Jerome Jackson. Jerome, WrestleBash 2014 is right around the corner.
Yes, it is.
And we are going to talk a little bit about promoting some merchandise right now for that big event.
Yes, we are.
Right now we have two of our WrestleBash themed t-shirts. They come in two great colors, black or white.
Pointing at the shirt, right?
Yes, I'm pointing at the shirt. And they're going to be on sale at that big event for a very, very good price. Now, on the note of WrestleBash, Jerome, if you will, for a moment. On the note of WrestleBash, the CCW Tag Team titles will be on the line as Future Evolution will be defending against Rock and Roll Chris Turner and Mad Dog Miller. Now, we got some very, very strong words from one of the members of Future Evolution, and Jonathan Wells, and we're going to hear from him right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you today on behalf of your CCW Tag Team Champions. Future Evolution, myself and Daniel Anderson. And I speak for both myself and Daniel Anderson when I say that Chris Turner and Mad Dog Miller are taking it all wrong. You see, Chris Turner and Mad Dog Miller, they think we're coming to Fernandina Beach on August 30th and we're not taking this match seriously. And you see, that's where they're wrong. Okay? If there's ever been a man in CCW that spoke the truth, it's me. If there's ever been a man in CCW that when he says something, you can take it to the bank, it was me. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming here right now on behalf of myself and Daniel Anderson. I'm coming here with a little bit of fact. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to sit back, I want you to take it easy, and I want you to listen to what I have to say because I am busting the lid off. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at this match from an honest standpoint. Okay, on August 30th in Fernandina Beach, Florida, the CCW Tag Team Championships will be on the line. Future Evolution defends against two of the best that CCW has ever had. And I say that honestly. Chris Turner and Mad Dog Miller are two of the all-time greats in CCW. But ladies and gentlemen, let's look at this thing honestly, okay? On one side of the ring, you've got the longest reigning CCW champion in history. For 518 days, I stood atop of the mountain of CCW, and I held that title longer than anybody else in history. Ladies and gentlemen, to my side, I have a second generation phenomenon. Daniel Anderson is the next big thing in CCW. And he stands beside me on one side of the ring on August 30th. And then you look across the ring at the other side and you see the exact opposite. You look across the ring, you see Mad Dog Miller. You see a man with quite possibly the shortest CCW championship reign in history. Ain't that right, Miller? What was it? 1 month? 2? 2 tops. You held that title and you dropped it the first time that you defended it, Miller. And you know why? Because you're a loser. You always have been. You always will be a loser. Me and Daniel Anderson, we're not losers. The entire collective is not losers. Okay? And then Miller, I want you to stand on that apron and I want you to look to your left. All right? I want you to look at the man that you've idolized the entire time you've been in CCW. I want you to look at him. I want you to look at him long and hard, Miller, and I want you to think in your mind, because I guarantee you this, on August 30th, Mad Dog Miller, you'll step on that ring apron, you'll look to your left, you'll see the man standing next to you, and it'll click in your mind. You will know from that moment on that you have no chance to win the CCW Tag Team Championships, because you're standing next to an old man. You're standing next to a man that should have retired years ago. You're standing next to that odd-shaped man that I've been speaking of, that man with that farmer's tan, the man that has no taste in apparel. I'm talking about Chris Turner. I'm talking about the man that everybody that comes to these CCW shows idolize. They come to the show with pictures of him. They come to the show and they give you Easter baskets. They come to the show and they bring stuff to him. And when he comes out, when Eye the Tiger starts playing, he comes out in that ridiculous outfit and everybody in the crowd, they just stand up and they cheer like a bunch of idiots. They stand up and they cheer. But what they don't realize is that the guy they're cheering for, his career is over. They don't realize that Chris Turner has done everything that he could do in CCW. They don't realize that the only way for Chris Turner to go is down. The only way for Chris Turner to go is down, and it's out. And that means out the door, Chris. And on August 30th, that's exactly where you're going to go. Because by the time me and Daniel Anderson get done with you, Chris Turner, your career will be over. And if it's not, then I guarantee you we will not stop until it is. Chris Turner, you're making a fool out of yourself. You're making a fool out of yourself, and you're making a fool out of Mad Dog Miller. You see, Mad Dog Miller's got a lot left in the tank. He's got a lot left in the tank. He's got more title reigns left. He's got a career left, Chris. You don't. And the fact that you're dragging him down with you shows that you have zero respect for Mad Dog Miller. Now, I know you have zero respect for us, Chris, but the thing is, we don't care. We don't care what you think about us, Chris, because you know what? Me and Daniel Anderson are the two hottest things in CCW today. Yeah, Hayden Price has got the belt. Yeah, Julian Marks is challenging for that belt. But Chris Turner, do not let it fool you. Me and Daniel Anderson are the franchise players in CCW. Kevin Toole is the destroyer in CCW. And together, the collective will reign supreme over CCW for years to come, Chris. A few months back, you looked me in the eye and you said you'd been wrestling longer than I've been walking. And Chris, I know that's a fact. And you know what? I said it before, I'll say it again. Chris Turner, that makes me sad. It makes me sad, Chris. And I'm sitting here, Chris, and I'm getting tears in my eyes. I'm getting tears in my eyes, Chris, because I know that you will have nothing left when your career is over. You have nobody to turn to, Chris. You have nowhere to go. You have nothing left to do. So you're sitting here and you're hanging on by a thread, Chris, and we all know why. You're hanging on by a thread. Because when your career is over, Chris, so is your life. Your life is over. So Chris Turner, I want you to soak in these next month and a half. I want you to soak it in, and I want you to think deep, Chris. I want you to think about what you're going to do when your career is over. Because on August 30th, it comes to an end. Mad Dog Miller, you can stand beside him. You can stand behind him. You can stand in front of him. It doesn't matter what you do, Miller, because you cannot stop the inevitable Chris Turner. August 30th, Wrestle Bash. Your career is over.
Right, but that should have been going there. And oh, I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, please forgive me. I was just going over a segment with our production manager. There you heard some very strong words from Jonathan Wells towards Rock and Roll Chris Turner and Mad Dog Miller, and he's certainly going to be an angry man when it comes to Wrestle Bash. On that note, one of his opponents, Rock and Roll Chris Turner, is going to be the featured player in one of our matches this week as he takes on the Dragon Slayer. So let's go ahead and go to the action right now. so, rock and roll Chris Turner with another impressive win, and of course, like I said, he and Mad Dog Miller are going to be challenging the tag team champions Future Evolution at WrestleBash. Speaking of WrestleBash, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see some new faces at this year's big event. Not the least of all is the gentleman that I mentioned last week, and he's going to have some words for us right now. So let's hear from Solo Jones.
They call me Solo Jones. You know why they call me Solo? Because I stand alone. I will trust nobody. And at WrestleBash, whoever in the real me, be prepared to knuckle up.
Well, we will no doubt be looking forward to seeing Solo Jones in action here in the near future. Ladies and gentlemen, WrestleBash 2014 is right around the corner. I've been talking about it week in and week out, and we're certainly getting closer to the action. We've got the CCW title on the line, where a new belt will be debuted that night when Flash and Cash Hayden Price defends against Mayhem Julian Mart. All that and many more matches until WrestleBash 2014, and until next week, my name is Brian Blitz, and I will see you at ringside.